reviewing my followers' PC part pickers list part 1. All right, so at first glance of this build, we have starting out a Ryzen 7 7800X 3D, which is no doubt one of the best CPUs you can get for gaming, but the price point right now for it is $388. Now, I have bought a lot of my 7800X 3Ds for builds I've done at $340, and I have once seen them go down to $275. So you have to keep those price points in mind. I don't think $388 price to performance wise is a bad deal for the 7800X 3D. So starting out, I love this list so far. Great way to start out going with AMD. Then we have a Thermalright Frozen Infinity 360 ARGB liquid CPU cooler coming in at right at $59. I get this 360 millimeter AIO for usually $56. So again, this is a super beautiful list so far. I love that AIO. It always performs amazing. Then we have the X870, $269, not too shabby for this. I believe this motherboard can go a little lower. Unfortunately, it is not the E version, but the X870E right now is super marked up. I think it is a horrible price point. So love the fact we're just going with the regular X870. That's going to be still more than enough. We got the XPG Lancer Blade RGB 32 gigs, 6000 megahertz CL30 rating. Love that too. That is amazing. We got a 990 Pro. Pretty good price point on this. I believe Amazon has some sales on some 990 Pros, 980 Pros, and then the 990 Evo is the deal I like. You can get a 2 terabyte for like $120, $129. So this isn't a horrible choice for the M.2. I think that's also a great option to go with. Then we have the Lightbase 600DX. Again, this case, I will talk about it so much, the fact that it is so much fun to build in. There's so much room, the LEDs look beautiful, 10 out of 10 on the case. Then down to the power supply, Corsair 850 watt, that is beautiful. Then we have the fans. Lee Uni fans are the next things on this list, and I personally absolutely hate them. The fact that you're spending $90 on a 3-pack of fans is absolutely disgusting to me. No hate on your choice in choosing these fans, but they look great. But in terms of price, I would just never pay something like that. I would go with the Interstellar iCooler V2s. These are under $40 for a 3-pack. They're absolutely silent. They have a high CFM rating. They use some similar technology to the Uni fans, and they just look really good. So I would go for those, save a lot of money. And then the first list that this follower had sent me had a 4070 on there. Now the 4070 price isn't too far off of the launch price of a 4070 or a 4070 Super. So you could definitely snag one of those right now. I think for around a 4070 Super is like $650 right now. They restocked finally across places on the web. But personally, I would score a 7900 XT. Now this GPU I got for $669 recently off Newegg, so that is an absolute score in my book. That would be a perfect pair with a 7800X 3D, especially if you're playing 4K. But the follower I was talking to who sent me this PC part picker list also was talking about how they might want to get a 9070 XT. Now the 9070 XT listings are still fairly high, so I would wait for them to go back down, which they eventually will. But if you want to get a GPU right now, I think a 7900 XT would be my #1 choice, and then you could definitely go for a 4070 Super if you are a fan of NVIDIA. And other than that, I love this whole build. I think this is pretty dialed. I would change a few things, right? The Uni fans, I would definitely change. And then that GPU is up to you guys, of course. But I hope you guys liked part 1 of reviewing my followers' PC part pickers list.